Hello, it's Adam from Adam's Mockups. In this video, I'm going to show you how to correctly make a tech pack to send to your manufacturer. Your tech pack is the set of instructions your manufacturer will use to create your piece of clothing. If you do not use the tech pack, there is a high chance your manufacturer could get something wrong and you end up wasting money on some bad samples. To avoid this, I'm going to explain everything you need to include in your tech pack and then walk through how I created this tech pack for the clothing brand Cineworld. First, you definitely want to include a mock-up of your garment. This can be any sort of visual representation of what you want your garment to look like. Even if it's just a hand-drawn picture, which I have had clients in the past come to me saying they have used hand-drawn pictures on pieces of paper. That is fine. It's not ideal, but that is fine as long as you have something that shows what you want your garment to look like. What I do is create a 2D mock-up of the front and the back of the garment in Illustrator or any other free vector software such as Figma. My personal mock-up pack is linked below with all of my mock-ups. Fabric type. This is the type of fabric you want to be used to create your garment. Typically for hoodies and t-shirts, brands like to use cotton fleece, which is a cheap cotton material. Sometimes they like to include polyester, like Fear of God Essentials, for example, has a slightly sportswear feel to it because it is 20% polyester and 80% cotton. Another common one in streetwear is French terry cotton, which is a weaved cotton material that is more expensive. The GSM of your garment stands for the grams per square meter and is measured by cutting a square meter from your garment and weighing it to measure the garment's thickness and weight. The lower your GSM, the thinner the garment, and the higher the GSM, the thicker the garment. Measurements and sizing. If you would like your garment to fit in a specific way and you do not want your manufacturer to just use their default blanks, then you need to include a measurement or sizing guide in your tech pack. You can easily show your manufacturer your custom measurements with a table and measurement guides like this. I will show properly how to set this up later in the video. If you have a piece of clothing already that you like the fit of, you can go on Google and Google the name of that item, and any of the top results should come with a size chart that gives you the measurements for that item. Graphics and logos, their placement and their finish. As for your graphics and logos, you want to make sure that you include their files. Firstly, you want to make sure either a high quality PNG file of the graphics or logos you want to place on your garment, or an SVG file that your manufacturer can use to place on the garment, and this is why it's important that it is a high quality image that you send them. So either a high quality PNG file or an SVG file. You also want to specify the finish of your graphic or logo, whether this is a screen print, a matte screen print, a glossy screen print, embroidery, or any other type of finish that your manufacturer may provide. As for hardware, you want to clearly show any custom hardware you want to include on the garment, or any extra items such as keychains or little figurines or anything like that that you want to include on the garment or with the garment. You want to specify all of this clearly. As for quantities, you want to clearly tell your manufacturer how many of each item in each color of each size you want them to create. This is important so you don't mess up the order and you get the wrong amount of a certain size or a certain color. You want this to be as clear as possible. Reference images. As for reference images, you want to include any images of pre-existing garments that you want to use as a reference when creating your garment. This can be the placement of a graphic, the finish of a graphic, the fit of the garment, the finish of the garment, or any other detail that you want to use as a reference for your garment. Labels and tags. As for labels and tags, you want to show all of the tags and labels that you want the manufacturer to include on the garment, such as the neck label, the size label, wash labels, or any other extra tags that you might want to include. I believe there are some legal regulations of tags that you need to include in certain countries, such as wash tags, but do your own research depending on what country you're in. Finally, as a bonus point, you have the fabric detailing or the finish that you want on your garment.
This can be acid washing your garment, sun fading your garment, gradient dyeing your garment, stone washing your garment, or any other finishes that your manufacturer may provide that can affect the appearance and feel of your garment.
Now I'm going to show you how to easily design your own tech pack. So once you have downloaded the template from the link in the description, you will get Adam's tech pack. This is my tech pack template that I have created and that I use. So this is Adam's tech pack. You have 3 folders. You have the blank tech pack, some backup download links, and an example tech pack, which is this one here. Within these 2 tech pack folders, you'll find the AI files and the PDF files. And within both of these folders, it will have all pages, which has all of the pages in one like this, and you'll have individual pages which has all the pages individually. I am using Illustrator, which is not officially free, but if you do not have Adobe Illustrator, then you can always use Photopea, which is a free online version which allows you to just open from your computer like this, and this will open up the tech pack, which will allow you to edit it however you like, just like this. But I'm going to show you how to use the tech pack in Adobe Illustrator. So just quickly, the basics of Adobe Illustrator. To zoom in and out, I hold Alt and scroll up and down. The main tool I'll be using is this one here, which is just the selection tool, which just allows you to select objects. You have your colors down here. You want to double click on the color to bring up this box, and then you can change the color. As you can see, that t-shirt there is changing. You have the text tool here, which allows you to select any text and edit it how you like. You have this tab here, which shows all of your different pages. And if you switch to the properties tab here and scroll down with something selected, it will give you options for the fill and the stroke. But you may not have to use this. You might just use the one down here. I'm just going to switch back to layers and move this over here. Here you also have artboards, which allows you to double click and it will bring up each page big on your screen. So that's basically everything you need to know in Illustrator to use this tech pack. So once you open both files, the example file is going to look like this. This is going to look the same, but it's going to be blank. So first, you want to pick the page that you want to work with, and you just want to press ungroup. Currently it is all grouped together like this, and once you ungroup, it's now separated. So once you press ungroup, what I personally do is I will just get a blank spot here and just drag down to select all of the stuff that I don't want to move and lock it here, lock object. Once this is locked, I can now place my stuff on top, but I can still edit all of the details that I didn't select when I dragged. I like to keep all of my mock-up designs and logos and hardware and anything else in a separate blank file, so I can easily just drag and select them as I need them. First, I'm going to talk through how to edit the header here. So what you want to do is, with all of this locked, you want to delete the Adam's Mockup logo. You want to replace it with your logo. So I'm going to use the Sinner one as an example of this information. So as we mentioned before, you have your fabric here. So I'm going to do cotton fleece. For the GSM, I'm going to go for about 220 GSM. I want this to be a high quality cotton fleece t-shirt. As for season, you just want to do whatever season you're going to drop your item in. So this one can be winter 2023. Item description can just be a basic description of your t-shirt, like men's graphic t-shirt. An item name can just be the name of your item, so Sinner rib graphic tee. And as you can see, it's gone over this box. If I select this, you can see that they're grouped together. So I just want to ungroup and make this box a bit longer. I can select them both and group them again. And I also want to do my sizes. So I'm going to do an extra small to extra large size range. Now that you have filled this out once, you do not need to fill it out again. On all of the other pages, you can just select the background like we did before, press lock, select all of this information that we had here previously. You can either move it up or just delete it. Select your new information, hold Alt to make a new copy and drag, or you can just copy and paste like this and place it into your next page. As for the cover page, you can either zoom in or double click here. Cover page, you just want to drag in your mock-ups that show the front and back design of your garment. So we drag these in here, and there we go. Our first page is pretty much complete. We've got a different layout here, whether you have them like this or like this, it's totally up to you. You can play around with it. As for your fabric colors page, you want to use the example techpack as a reference when you're creating yours, so you can have a look where everything's been placed in here. So you have the 4 mock-ups at the top like so, and then once I'm done with that, I can select the color box here. And if I use this tool here, which I didn't mention earlier, but the eyedropper tool, if I select it and say I use the red, I just press and it's going to change to the color of my mock-up. Easy as that. So I'm going to change that back to green. You might notice here there is a Pantone value, and you might not know what this is. This is the unit that manufacturers use for color. You want to include a Pantone value for the color of your fabric. So I have included a link to a website, a really easy website you can just use. If you copy this, paste it into here, this is a hex to Pantone converter. So if you get the hex code of your color, so I press the item here, I ungroup, double click on this, and you've got your hex code here. So I can copy that and paste it into here, and then I just pick from these which one most resembles my t-shirt. 347C, I reckon. So I would just go into here, 347C, get rid of that other C, and I don't actually have my hex code in here, so I'm just going to copy my hex code from here and paste it into there, and do the same for all of your colorways. As for measurement guides, you want to use the tip that I mentioned before and find a measurement guide of a garment that you like the fit of online and copy their measurement guide or use it as inspiration. This is the size guide I used for the Cineworld example, which is a Cortez or Cortez t-shirt size guide. You want to pick one colorway, make it bigger, separate the 2 t-shirts, look at where your size guides are here. So we have this one here going shoulder to shoulder, so I just want to place that there, and you want to do the same for the length and the chest circumference. Red was probably a bad example to use because my lines are red, but you can just select your lines, and down here, this box here, you double click and you can change the color of your lines if you want. So I'm going to change them to a blue color just so they are easier to see. Now, as you can see, this one is behind my mock-up. What you want to do is just right click, arrange, and you can press bring to front. Now you can select these 3 lines and copy them over to the back using the Alt button, and you just want to change these here to each measurement. So we have chest, width, length, and shoulder. I'm just going to adjust my boxes and then input your sizes. These are the size guides that your manufacturer is going to use to make your garment. So this is how your garment is going to turn out. Chest width, we have 52 centimeters for the small, 54 for the medium, 56 for the large, and 58 for the extra large. And you want to do this for the other options, so length and shoulder. Once you've inputted all of your values, I'm just going to lock this block here. And as you can see, chest width is number 1, length is number 2, and shoulder is number 3. So you just want to get your little indicators here, hold Alt and drag this to each corresponding line. So number 1 is chest width, number 2 is the length, arrange, bring to front, drag this over here, and the shoulder is number 3. So just like that, and you can select all of these and drag it over to the back. Up here you have your measurement specs page. In this box you want to place your mock-up that you just created with all of your measurement guides. So you can just drag it like this
And for reference images, you want to include any reference images that show how you want the item to fit. So I have this image here of Central C wearing a Supreme Motion logo t-shirt. This is his brand Sinner. As you can see, he's wearing it. And you want to input all of your values into here exactly like we did before. Next, you have the logos and graphics colors page. This is just the same as this page, but it is for the logos and graphics specifically. So I'm going to use these t-shirts again, and I'm just going to place each of my logos into here, just like I have here, and add the hex codes for what color my graphic or logo is. And if you have multiple colors, then you just use multiple markers like this to show the stroke and the fill color. So the next page is where you would include any hardware. We do not have any hardware on these t-shirts, no zips or keychains or plastic labels or anything like that, but I will show you it in here just as an example. This is a hoodie with a rubber zip on the front pocket, and you just put a description of your hardware in here, and you do a sort of magnifying glass to zoom in on the hardware. You can create multiple of these for all your different hardware. So one page for a rubber zipper, maybe another page for a keychain with all of their orders. Anything like that, you would use this page and describe it in the middle here. As for reference images up here, you want to place any images that you want to use as a reference when creating your garment in here. So I have used this Bape t-shirt as a reference for the print being wrapped around the left rib, and this Supreme t-shirt to show this matte graphic print. You just want to get your images, place them in here, and type your detail here. So wrapped around left rib graphic print. Just going to select these and move them into the middle like so, and then you just want to place your markers. They've gone to the back, you just want to right click, arrange, bring to front, and now they're in the front. So place that marker there. In the tags and labels box, you want to include all of the tags and labels that you want to include on your mock. In my example, again, you can see I have the garment mock-up up here, and then I have used these bubbles to show a close-up of the tags. Then I've got the 4 colorways in a grid formation, and I have them showing each individual tags. So you just want to place your mock-up up here, use these bubbles to show the details close up, and you can place your colorways on top of these. So colorway 1, colorway 2, colorway 3. If you only have one colorway, then you can just say you might only have one colorway, then you could just delete these and place your mock-up in the middle here with the labels here. Finally, you have your quantities. You just want to put your garment name in here, so Sinner rib print t-shirt, and the rest of it is just a normal table. So your size in here, your color in here, your quantity in here, so how many of each color if you have multiple colorways. So for example, this would be 2 red, 2 green, 2 blue, 2 black, total of 8. And this just shows your manufacturer how many of each size of each color you want to create. All of the digital assets I used in this video are linked below, including all of the mockups and tech pack files. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like if you learned something from this video, and I hope to be showing you some more cool stuff soon.